Now on CoastTV News.
Farmland facing fracture. A proposed development in Milton is sparking concern and now heading between Sussex County officials later today. Maryland looking at redistricting. Governor Wes Moore's controversial appointing.
And the temperatures are already in the 60s as the sun is shining. I'm tracking the threat of 40 to 50 mile-an-hour wind gusts through the night.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story today is a proposed subdivision called Tepache Farms that could bring 21 single-family homes to Milton. And as you may expect, it's raising some concerns from neighbors. Today, that project goes back in front of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. This comes after a vote was deferred at the October 15th meeting, and plans say the development looks to split almost 25 acres into 21 single-family homes. Sussex County leaders will gather today at 3 p.m. New overnight, unofficial results are in for Virginia's general election, and here on the Eastern Shore, according to the State Board of Elections, incumbent Republican Robert Bloxham Jr. will keep his seat. This is in the race for the House of Delegates District 100. That's in Accomack County, and the results are showing that Bloxham defeated Democrat Liz Richardson. Next, in the race for governor, Democrat Abigail Spanberger has been declared the winner of Virginia's gubernatorial race. And according to the official results, this makes Spanberger Virginia's first female governor. She defeats the incumbent Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. Spanberger, a former congresswoman and CIA officer, focused her campaign on economic issues and abortion rights. She will succeed outgoing Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin. We spoke with some voters in Accomack County as to why they went to the polls on Tuesday, and here's what one person had to say about the significance of the election.
In Virginia, it's very important. It's very important, and because it's the governor, it's because the attorney general, and even the lieutenant governor. It means that in the future that lieutenant governor would have some import.
Next year, incumbent Democratic Senator Mark Warner is running for re-election, and according to NPR, 2 Republicans have filed to challenge Warner. On Tuesday, Maryland's Governor Wes Moore announced a state commission to look into congressional redistricting. The governor has appointed 5 people to this commission, and it appears none of them are Republicans. The group will get feedback and report back to Governor and the General Assembly. Eastern Shore Congressman Andy Harris is the only Republican representing Maryland in Washington. He says he's confident any plan to redistrict would be struck down in court.
I've long felt this, and I'm not moving on it, is if you have other states that are deciding whether or not they have fair maps, then so will Maryland.
Look, Wes Moore is running for president. He feels he has to roll the dice on this. I'm not sure that the Senate president is going to go along. But again, this is just another step toward attempting to eliminate all the Republicans from the congressional delegation.
Senate President Bill Ferguson previously said that redistricting would be too risky and too rushed. The midterm elections are in about 1 year. Now taking a live look into Rehoboth this morning, we're joined by First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono for a look at today's beautiful fall forecast. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace. Yes, indeed, it is beautiful. We started pretty cool. We were in the mid-30s, but we've warmed up pretty quickly with a southwest wind. We're at 63 right now in Lewis, dew point 44, so very dry out there, but you can see the bright blue skies. We're at 63 Rehoboth, 64 Harrington, 64 in Georgetown. We're up to 66 in Salisbury. You can see the winds have really picked up over the last few hours. 28 mile-an-hour gusts there. Georgetown 28, Salisbury 24, Indian River Inlet. Now we have this wind advisory up from 7 o'clock this evening through 7 a.m. Thursday. Winds are going to be getting even higher as we push through the evening and into the overnight. We see pretty dry conditions across most of the area, but this area of low pressure across the Great Lakes is going to continue lifting up to the northeast, and that cold front is going to be swinging through our area through the afternoon and into the evening. Sunny, mild day today, but those winds are going to be gusting as high as 50 miles an hour into the overnight, and we're going to see cooler temperatures, but sunny, dry conditions are going to continue through the day on Thursday. Highs today, upper 60s with those windy conditions. We'll talk about a roller coaster ride as far as our temperatures are concerned over the next 5 days coming up in that full forecast. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. We have new information this morning about a fire that erupted Tuesday at a tire shop in Dagsboro. Our Coast Copter was over that scene. That's at B&E Tire and Auto on Quarter Mile Road. The call came in just around 2:40 p.m. and you can see crews working here to put out the last of those flames. Delaware State Fire Marshal's office says there were no injuries and the fire was accidental. Fire officials say gasoline vapors lit up during a vehicle repair. The damage is estimated at $800,000. A quick rescue over in Lewis. The Lewis Fire Department responded to an accident Monday afternoon. This was the scene when crews arrived. They found a single car off the roadway with one person trapped inside. Lewis firefighters say they took off the driver's door to safely extract the victim. And according to the fire department, that person was on the way to the hospital within just 12 minutes of crews arriving. To help people who rely on food benefit programs like SNAP that are affected by the shutdown, the Food Bank of Delaware will host a mass drive-through food distribution on November 21st at 9 a.m. on Crossroad Community Church in Georgetown. Organizers say people must bring proof of Delaware residency and registration can occur online or at the gateway. The food bank says service is limited to one per household. We're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Midday. Coming up, Rehoboth Beach parking profits, why the city says this year's numbers were unexpected.
Well, bright blue skies out there. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Temperatures are in the 60s, 63 in Lewis. We're on our way to highs in the upper 60s, but the winds are going to steal the show as we go into the overnight. Congratulations to Richard Koenig, Lewis, Delaware, on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. We'll talk about a roller coaster ride as far as the temperatures are concerned and a big cool down later next week.
But first, today marks the longest federal shutdown in U.S. history. Coast TV News returns after this. The federal government has set an unenviable record. Today, Wednesday, November 5th, marks a 36th day of federal shutdown, and that officially makes it the longest in United States history. But some say there's a glimmer of hope that it could end soon. A small group of lawmakers say they've got momentum on a plan to end the standoff. It wouldn't give Democrats the extension of subsidies under the Affordable Care Act they're holding out for, but it would give them a standalone vote on the matter. It could be a tough sell for some because there's no guarantee the vote would pass the Senate. A life or death moment for the country. That's what President Trump is calling today's Supreme Court case on his sweeping emergency tariffs. In a social media post, Trump lauded his administration's trade policies, crediting tariffs and new trade deals for what he described as historic economic success. The Supreme Court is set to meet Wednesday to hear oral arguments over the president's global emergency tariffs, and the court will also decide the limits of a president's power. There's First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He's over there in the First Alert Weather Center, and after the break, he's got your full forecast after this.
Well, we have warmed up pretty quickly after we had temperatures in the 30s this morning. We are now up to 63 in Rehoboth Beach. Winds are out of the southwest, so it is a milder wind. 65 in Milton, we're at 64 Millsboro, and 66 in Salisbury. There's those wind speeds. Sustained winds anywhere between about 10 to 15, and we're seeing gusts even higher, up to 30 miles an hour. Now we have that wind advisory in effect from 7 o'clock tonight through 7 a.m. Thursday, encompassing all of Delaware for winds as high as 50 miles an hour. Now we do have a newly issued low water advisory. This kicks in at 11 o'clock tonight and runs through Thursday at 6 a.m. That's due in part to the strong northwest winds that we're going to see and may push water out to sea. Gale warnings are up as well, and there's a high wind watch. They could see some winds as high as 60 along the Jersey shore, and then we're going to have those gale warnings that continue through 7 a.m. Thursday. clear skies. So we're enjoying sunshine, beautiful conditions. This area of low pressure is going to continue to strengthen and kick up to the northeast as an area of high pressure is building in, and that tight pressure gradient is going to bring us those strong winds that we're going to see here over the next 18 to 24 hours. Now, rainfall chances are going to be low here over the next 3 days. They ramp up Friday night and then again on Sunday. So the front that's coming through tonight is going to be a dry front. 68 in Milford. We'll see a high of 70 in Easton, 68 Cambridge to 68 in Salisbury. So there's that southwest wind continuing to gust as high as 35 to 45 miles an hour through the afternoon. It's going to be through the latter part of the evening and into the overnight. We see those winds shift out of the northwest, gusting as high as 40 to 50 miles an hour, and then we'll see those winds settle down by daybreak Thursday, still on the breezy side with gusts up to 30 miles an hour, and then we're looking at those winds really calming down into Friday morning. So we see the southwest winds, clear skies. We'll see a few clouds roll in with the front, but we stay dry. A mostly sunny, brisk Thursday with highs in the upper 50s to near 60, and then a cold start to Friday. I think we could see some widespread frost as we go into Friday morning, and then we're looking at dry conditions through the day on Friday. So a little bit of a seesaw here as far as temperatures are concerned. 63 is your average high. Above that today, below that tomorrow, and then we soar back up into the upper 60s near 70 all over the weekend after a few morning showers Saturday. We're dry Saturday afternoon, and then another wave of moisture comes in with the front Sunday. The bigger story is going to be the colder air behind that second front. We're looking at well below average temperatures to start next week, and we're looking at those temperatures going to be upper 40s for highs coming into Monday. 68, sunny and mild today with the wind stealing the show. 45 overnight, very windy early, mostly clear, and we're mostly sunny into Thursday. 58 degrees, a brisk afternoon. We say sunny and dry through Friday. Rain chances move in overnight Friday through Saturday, and these are light rain chances Friday and Sunday. And then that cold air moves in. Look, we go from 70 Saturday to a high of 46 on Tuesday. Grace.
Well, if you were up with Chris and I this morning, you may have seen the beaver moon. It's as close as it can get to the Earth this week, and actually the closest of 2025. But what is a supermoon? Well, supermoons hang low and they appear big and bright on the horizon, especially just after sunset. And in case you missed this one, which actually gets its name because beavers like to forage this time of year, the next supermoon will arrive in just 1 month on December 4th. And coming up tonight on DSN at 7 in high school football, Y-High takes on Kent Island, then catch that final score at 10:30.
When it comes to protecting and keeping local marine life happy and healthy, well, the Mayor Institute is a big part of that. And coming up this weekend is a very big fundraiser. We've got your details on that. Also, it's never too soon to get a jump start on that holiday shopping. And we've got a great market to introduce you to as well. And it's the beginning of a new month, which means the first Friday at the Art League in Ocean City will be in full swing this week. So we've got all the details on that and so much more happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Parking meters in Rehoboth Beach are covered up this time of year, and with the paid parking season in our rear view, city leaders did the math on how much money they came up with this summer, and that total was about $1 million, thus, and they expected it to be. Parking profits still totaled around $10 million, but even that number was $600,000 less than they made last year.
I think a lot of it might have been the weather, as we said. I think just people not wanting to take that trip, for lackluster conditions.
Rehoboth Beach officials also say they may look into removing more physical parking meters as the pay-by-phone parking becomes more popular. They're also looking at making parking permits virtual, hoping to streamline that process. Rehoboth Beach recruiting, how you can make your mark on the history of the city. That's next after the break. Rehoboth Beach looking for people for the new Boardwalk Historic Designation Task Force. They say the purpose is to acquire historic designations for the boardwalk, and members should be people who live in Rehoboth Beach or property owners or business owners. But it may also include people with related experience who live outside of the city. Meetings will be held in person at City Hall. Looking across Delmarva now, Dover weighing 2 ordinances. One would strictly enforce residential speed limits and the other would prohibit people from standing on medians or approaching moving cars, except when legally crossing. And according to city leaders, the possible changes seek to increase safety.
Well, we have a beautiful day on our hands here on Delmarva. The only thing is those winds are going to be ramping up through the afternoon and overnight. 66 right now in Laurel on our way to highs. Close to 70 degrees with those winds as high as 50 miles an hour into the overnight. Get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. Your 10-day forecast is up next.
Well, the Delaware Natural Resource Police, they're teaming up with Santa, Chris, this holiday season, and they need your help. Check out this video that they put out today. How fun is this, Chris? This is their video introducing their toy drive. They say they're collecting new unwrapped toys for Delaware kids, and you can drop off donations, they say, at any Delaware State Park office. That includes the Brandywine Zoo, or you could stop by their office in Georgetown or the Richardson and Robbins building in Dover to drop off those toys, Chris.
Very nice. And it's going to feel like Christmas next week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Monday and Tuesday. And if you didn't see it last night, you have one last chance to see that super beaver moon, the closest and brightest of the 3 super moons this year. This is the second of 3. We have one more coming up here in just a few weeks in December. 68 today. Winds gusting as high as 40, 50 miles an hour heading into the evening and overnight. Cold front comes through 58 Thursday, and then we're looking at a mild weekend with a chance of showers. And there's that cold air I was telling you about early next week. 48 and 46 for highs.
We're gonna have to break out our jackets
I
at
know,
this
right?
point. That's pretty crazy.
I know, little early taste of
And
winter.
you said Pennsylvania, maybe getting a little snow?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Western Pennsylvania.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Coast TV News Midday. If you like more local news or weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us right back here for Coast TV News at 5. That's later this afternoon. But until then, have a great day.